Now I'm going to tell you a story, a true story. I'm going to share with you a personal anecdote, an example of why I believe that working inside of a correctional facility has changed me. I know, I can hear you groaning and rolling your eyes. And I know that your initial instinct is to suggest that I turn in my keys and my OC and go find employment elsewhere. Look, I know that the idea, the notion that we aren't as tough as we think we are is countercultural, revolutionary, and uncomfortably scary. But we're not. And to deny that the correctional environment can and does negatively affect people that are exposed to it is downright dangerous. So let me tell you my story. One of the ways that this profession has changed me is the way that I deal with people. See, inside at work, I'm an excellent communicator, a trained negotiator. I love interacting and engaging with the population, especially if they're in some sort of crisis. It excites me, and I pride myself in my ability to relate, to communicate, and de-escalate. It's what I do. But on the outside, I could do none of that. I am an impatient, irrational individual that is easily triggered by behavior that I deem to be ignorant or aggressive. Did you catch that? I said what I deem to be ignorant or aggressive. Good. So here's my story. I had just finished coaching my second basketball game of the day. Yes, my second. And I was whooped. See, I love coaching with all of my heart and soul, and it has definitely been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. But it is also somewhat stressful and occasionally frustrating. So there I was, frustrated after a tough loss, gathering my things, thanking the kids for their effort when I heard them for the first time.
Everybody out of the gym! I have to sanitize before the next game!
The announcement was like nails on a chalkboard for me, but I maintained, stayed focused, and continued to gather my things. I implored the kiddos to hurry up, but anyone with kids knows that that's kind of a difficult thing. Sometimes it takes them a bit to get moving. But it's fine. I'm fine. I'm smiling and making dad jokes and trying to soak up every second of this moment because this is what I fight so hard for. It's the only thing that really matters. And then he yelled again.
Everyone out of the gym! I have to sanitize before the next game!
As soon as the first syllable of his second announcement left his lips, I could feel my switch flip. I lost focus. Now I had to locate the lunatic that was yelling at the players and the parents like he was the town crier, warning us that the building was on fire. There he was, a stocky guy standing next to the entrance, next to a yellow mop bucket. This obvious ex-high school wrestler was resting against the mop handle, glaring back at me. He was clearly annoyed at the speed in which people were leaving, and it showed. The problem is he chose to show his disgust to me. And by staring at me, by trying to intimidate me, he inadvertently triggered me. See, inside when an individual stares you down, they're challenging you. It's actually the first level of resistance in our use of force continuum. It's considered psychological intimidation. Now, I don't know for sure if that was Mop Bucket Guy's intention or not, but that's how I took it. Because of my training, because of my years of experience, I considered his body language and his gaze an act of aggression. So I started to move towards the entrance. Now my intention, my plan was to just leave. The idea was to ignore Mop Bucket Guy, get in my truck, leave, and enjoy the rest of the day. But all of this went out the window when he yelled for the third time.
Everybody out of the gym! I gotta sanitize before the next game!
I lost it. I took my mask down so he could see my face and I said, "We all heard you and we're leaving. Relax." I said, but it was a directive. I was using my correctional officer voice. I had answered his psychological intimidation with verbal directives. I needed him to know that I heard him and that he needed to stop yelling. I wanted him to understand that I was the alpha male in the building, not him. I needed to establish dominance because that's what I'm trained to do. But the problem is that on the outside, out of uniform, I'm nothing. I'm not Officer Young confronting a combative inmate. I'm just some irate parent losing his mind on a volunteer trying to sanitize the gym. I can't be the only one out there that loses their shit in public, right? Let me know in the comments below. Have you ever been overly aggressive? Or have you ever flipped out on somebody at the store or the bank or wherever? Why did you flip? What happened? What triggered you? I can tell you what triggered me. Look at me using the word triggered like I'm some new age counselor volunteering to work a weekend retreat for high school counselors. Sure, his yelling, his ridiculous announcements that we all needed to leave were annoying, but that's not what did it. What triggered me was his posture, his face. What sent me over the edge was the way that he was resting against the mop handle. Just like an inmate, like a porter, a trustee, standing in the middle of the housing unit, yelling up at the other inmates that are locked away for the night. So when I saw him, I was no longer in the gym with my family. I was back at work, inside a place where I can't relax. I can't let my guard down. A place where terrible things happen no matter how hard you try to prevent them. I could feel my body tighten up, my adrenaline dump. Woo! Let's go! See, at that moment, I lost control. I lost sight of where I was and what was actually happening. Because I'm accustomed to, smothering fires before I even see the smoke. That's where I went. That's where I go. I seriously doubt that this guy, Mr. Mop Bucket, was trying to pick a fight with me. He was probably just worn out and tired of yelling at folks to clear out. But here I was. The cat was out of the bag. He was pissed. I was pissed. And my wife, Lord have mercy, was she pissed. Thankfully, Mr. Mop Bucket Guy let my outburst slide and I went outside. But the night was definitely ruined. Look, people, this profession, this career has some very real consequences. We can't spend as much time as we do on the inside without showing some wear and tear. We also can't help ourselves if we can't be honest with ourselves. And that's the whole point here. The mission is to highlight the emotional damage and psychological dangers that officers face while working behind the walls and the wire of the world's correctional facilities. And to raise awareness that if we don't take care of ourselves and each other, we may be blindsided, caught off guard, and in our line of work, that could be deadly. Alright guys, if you liked this video, if you found value in this video, straight punch that little like icon. Like, comment, and share this content with anyone and everyone that you think may be interested. Did I say subscribe? I don't remember if I say Of course I want you to subscribe. And if you're looking for more correctional content, head on over to my Facebook page. I'll post a link in the description below so you know where to go. All right, guys, that's all I got. Until next time, be smart, stay safe, stay sane, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, hey, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, 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 yeah, let's go. I feel like
Luke, I am your father. You know, in the movie, he didn't really say, Luke, I am your father. That's not true. That's actually part of a thing called the Mandela Effect. And if you're not familiar with the Mandela Effect, well, then check it out. Check it out on Google. Just Google the Mandela Effect, and you'll be surprised. One of the biggest surprises is that Shazam with Sinbad is not a real movie. I know. I thought I saw it. I still think I see it, but I don't know. You check it out. You let me know. Have you seen Shazam with Sinbad? Let me know in the comments below. If you're still watching, you're probably not still watching. Are you? Are you? Let me tap. Hello? Hello? All right. If you're still, you need to go. Get out of here. Get out of here. We'll see you later.